Hola todos, Mitchell here. Let's go through what the speaking exam looks like for GCSE Spanish for the new AQA specification. This will cover both higher and foundation tier. I will make reference to the old specification at some points and go through what the main differences are. Vamos! So, starting with the structure of the exam, there's a role play that is worth 10 marks, which used to be worth 15 previously. It is still quite similar to the old spec, and I will show you an example of the role play using resources I've written myself later in this video. The roleplay will take between 1 and 1.5 minutes, and there's 5 bullet points to answer. Then there's a new reading aloud task, which is something that just did not exist in the old spec. As the name suggests, you have to read out a short paragraph, and you are marked on your pronunciation, and then there's 4 questions that you will be asked by the teacher. And then ending off with a photo card that has 2 pictures, and you need to describe the photos, and then have a conversation about them. They have in a way scrapped the general conversation, but there is still an unprepared conversation aspect at the end of the photo card. The photo card is worth 25 marks, and in comparison, the general conversation in the previous spec was 30 marks. My reason for comparing between both specifications is because you can still use resources from that to help you prepare for this exam, and my old videos can still help you in some ways. However, I think the exam board's main aim with this whole new specification is to make the papers a little easier and more accessible. And then right before the exam, you get 15 minutes of preparation time, which used to be 12 previously. Again, lucky you guys, all these changes are there to make everything a little easier. In total, this paper is out of 50 and a quarter of the final grade. Previously, each paper used to be out of 60. Vale, let's get into each component then. The roleplay has 5 bullet points in English that require short answers from you. Each bullet point is worth 2 marks, and I've put the mark scheme here. Previously, the roleplay included an unprepared question marked with an exclamation mark, but this has now been removed. Apart from that, you can and should use old spec roleplays from around 2018 to 2024 to practice. You'll also see here I've made a set of speaking resources myself in the style of this new specification for extra practice. Teachers and students can download them completely for free off my website, and those links will be in the description. Vale, let's do this higher tier roleplay together, and you can see how you can easily get 10 out of 10. The roleplay is never going to be the tricky thing in speaking, so at least if you can master that, you've got yourself 10 out of 50 marks already. Let's read this question then. So instructions of the candidate: you're talking to a Salvadoran friend. Your teacher or the examiner is going to play the part of the Salvadoran friend and is going to speak first. You should address your friend as tú, so using the informal language, and then when you see this, so a question mark, you'll have to ask a question. So 5 bullet points, 5 tasks, whatever. To be able to get full marks, include a verb in each response. So for this, I'd always keep my answers really short and simple. Do not write any more than you need to. So first one, say what activities there are in your region and give 2 details. So activities, we can use verbs like I'm going to say. So I means there is or there are. So hay muchas piscinas, let's say. There are a lot of swimming pools. Another activity, let's say sports centers, so polideportivos. So hay muchas piscinas y polideportivos, and that itself would get you both marks for the first bullet point. You've given 2 details, and you have said what activities there are in your region using the verb I. Next one, ask your Salvadoran friend a question about exercise. Let's do this. So let's do the upside down question mark. We can say something like ¿qué tipo de ejercicio te gusta hacer? Well, let's do something even simpler. Just te gusta hacer ejercicio. Do you like to do exercise? And that should be spelled ejercicio. Vale. Te gusta hacer ejercicio. Do you like to do exercise? Then say what you did last week in your free time and give 1 detail. So what you did, if we see the question itself has the word did, this is the preterite tense. So let's use a verb in the preterite tense. Let's use something like hice, just means I did. And then I like to say, what can we say? Hice natación is a good one. I did swimming, hice natación. It says 1 detail, so just 1 word there is correct. One activity you did. And then next one says, say what you're going to do next weekend, give 2 details. So I would use the near future tense, or you can use the normal future tense, saying something like iré, I will go. However, I'm going to say voy a ir, so I'm going to go. And then 2 places it says 2 details. So voy a ir al cine y qué más. Y any other place, let's pick. Let's do a random. Let's do hairdresser. A la peluquería is how you say that. Peluquería, for example. So I'm going to the cinema, and then the peluquería. You can say something simple like the beach or something. I just picked that place there. And then the last one, say what your favorite tradition is. So give one tradition and one reason why sort of you like the tradition. You can say mi tradición favorita blah 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 es. However, I've looked at the mark scheme for these, and I know you can go even simpler and just say the verb es. So I'm going to say es la, and then let's pick a tradition. Let's say es la tomatina is an easy one, I think. And then I don't think you even need por qué, but let's have por qué. So por qué es, and then a reason. So it says here, give a reason. Let's say por qué es emocionante. It is exciting. ¿Vale? Have I spelled that correctly? I think I have. So even just saying these 6 words here would give you both marks. Although to be sort of extra safe, you can say mi tradición favorita es, and then la tomatina porque es emocionante. Okay, there's the role play. Let's move on to the reading aloud task next. So this part is out of 15 marks. You have to read out a text, and this did not exist previously, but hey ho, I think it's an easy thing to do. The reading part is 5 marks for pronunciation, and then there's 4 questions afterwards, that is 10 marks. And although I believe you get this card in the preparation time, there's not much you can do with it, apart from maybe read it out in your head, which will take around 30 seconds. Let's do that right now, actually. La tecnología ha cambiado nuestras vidas. Ayer usé el Internet para trabajar y estudiar. A mi juicio, las redes sociales nos mantienen conectados e informados. La tecnología sigue avanzando, creando nuevas formas de comunicación cada día. Sin embargo, el uso excesivo de la tecnología puede llevar a problemas de salud. And then here we have the 4 unprepared questions. I'd recommend responding with around 2 sentences worth of just quantity as a response to each one, just to ensure they're developed enough to get the 10 out of 10 marks. But I'll do more videos about this part of the exam in the future. If you want to answer these 4 questions and leave them in the comments, I'm happy to give you some feedback. And then we end off with the photo card. This is 25 marks with 2 photos, which will always be in black and white. These will be from different themes, so each one from a different theme. So together they will cover 2 of the 3 themes. The teacher will say, háblame de las fotos, to cue your description of these photos. This is quite similar to the ¿qué hay en la foto question in the previous specification, which I have a whole video about. And in this video, I go through a really good template. So I would encourage you to have a watch through of this. The acronym I use is PALMA, and you may have seen it before. After this, there is another fully unprepared conversation. This time, it can literally be on anything. So although I said earlier that they have scrapped the general conversation, its remains can still be seen here. Okay, let's go through an example of this then. Vale. And actually, one thing to note, these cards are the same for foundation and higher. So you'll see in these cards that I've made myself, I've written foundation/higher. It's the same for both. It's just the timing that's different when you go into the conversation part of this. Okay, so let's describe these photos then. So we have one that looks like a woman sitting in some sort of like cafe with a laptop. And then these 4 people in a park. Is there 4 or 5 people in a park exercising, let's say. Okay. In the specification, they haven't specified, because obviously there's 2 photos, not just one, so they haven't specified how to talk about both. But in some of the examples, I think what I would do basically is 1 paragraph on one photo, and another paragraph on a second photo, and then you just read it out in the exam. So let's start the time and let's do this. So let's start off with a good expression, puedo ver, always a good thing to use in any photo. Y so, puedo ver una mujer, we can see a woman. We can describe the clothes, the sort of expression on the face, or even the hair. So, puedo ver una mujer con el pelo liso. So this is straight hair, el pelo liso. And then let's describe the actions. So, pienso que está trabajando. Está trabajando. And then let's think about the mood. So, y está feliz, ya que está sonriendo. ¿Qué más? Veo, ¿qué veo? Veo un ordenador, so the laptop, un ordenador portátil with the accent there, I think. Ordenador portátil. So that's just referring to the laptop there. And then we can do y weather is a good one, y hace buen tiempo. Hace buen tiempo, so describing the weather as well. So I've sort of picked apart this photo, different aspects of it, and written these 3 sentences here. Let's think about the second one as well. Then if I create a new text box here. So I'm going to say there's 4 people exercising. So how would I say that? Hay cuatro personas. How would we say that are exercising? So the verb would be hacer ejercicio. So que están. This is the present progressive tense, so they are doing something. Están haciendo ejercicio. That would be like a first sentence, or actually we can say like en un parque, so like outside, and then en un parque grande. Why not a big park? What else can we say? Puedo ver unos, or let's say something like se ve unos árboles, trees with accent on the A, unos árboles, like in the background, let's say, en el fondo, far away, y the weather está nublado. Me parece que está, so it is cloudy, is nublado. And those would be 3 sentences for that. So yeah, this is what I would answer for this photo card, and altogether it's 25 marks. Vale, that's all for this video. I've got more videos on this new specification coming soon. Visit astarspanish.com/tutoring if you're interested in tutoring from us. Vale, adios!